Welcome back to the live stream. Welcome back to the live stream. Not welcome back. Okay. New live stream. Ooh. Is this the right way? I'm about to show you all my belongings. A little bit of the belongings, that's fine. Guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Omboy. Thank you so much for being here. Wow. Okay. At least today we have a topic. We're not just coming to hang out. It's kind of hot. I don't know. Whenever I go live, like, it just gets hot for some reason. Guys, welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. My good name is Omboy. Thank you so much for being here. Can you like the live stream and subscribe? Say hi. And let's get going. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Now, at least today we do have a topic. We are talking about cohabitation before marriage. Is it smart or risky? Would you cohabit before marriage? That's what we're gonna be talking about. And as always, first of all, we start by sending in greetings and let me know which country you're watching me from. Yes. So let's get that going. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. My good name is Omboy. Oh my god, we are talking about a topic, cohabiting. We're gonna be talking about cohabiting. And if you don't know, cohabiting is whereby, like, you just start living with somebody without getting married to them. So that's what we're gonna be talking about. But in the meantime, let us say hi. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know where you're watching me from. Yes. So let's get that done. Done. Welcome to the live stream. Oh my god, let me see how many steps I've walked today. 2,457 steps. Can you imagine? Wow. Guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Omboy. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get started by saying our country, where you are watching from. Yep. We're gonna be talking about something that I think amongst the young people is just something that's literally, like, nobody thinks about it twice. Okay, cohabiting. And cohabiting is whereby you start living with somebody without getting married to them. Okay, so the first question that you're gonna be having is, like, do you think couples should live together before marriage? That's the first question you're gonna be having. Do you think couples should live together before marriage? Do you think couples should live together before marriage? Afsan B2 says, send some love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Do you think couples should live together before marriage? Do you think couples should live together before marriage? No. Why? Do you think couples should live together before marriage? Afsan says Christian, Muslim, Jews get married first. Okay. So Okay, we all know that people have been living together before getting, especially in campus. When I was in campus, almost everybody was living with their boyfriend, girlfriend, and everything. But I think for me, because I knew for me always, and you guys who have been here for a long time know that my story revolves around poverty and all of that. Like I couldn't afford to live with a man, or to live with a man. Like honestly, that was too risky for me. Okay, so but it brings me to the question, because some people lived with their partners, they never got pregnant, nothing bad ever happened to them, they graduated as usual. But also out here, I know there are people who start living together without getting married. So do you think couples should live together before marriage? If your answer is yes, why? If your answer is no, why? Paul G. Kelana says, how are you? I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing? Do you have children? No, I don't. Do you think couples should live together before marriage? Do you think couples should live together before marriage? I think everybody says that like people should live together before marriage so that you can get to know somebody. You learn each other's real habits, not just the version shown during dates. You know, when you start living with somebody, you get to know the real them. You get to know how do they live. Like, are they dirty? Uh, what are the things that they do behind the scenes, like pet peeves. You get to learn some of those things, okay? But still, that doesn't remove the question, do you think couples should live together before marriage? Let's solve that question. Hussein Abdikadir says hi to you. Olwedu Temane says hi girl, you look gorgeous. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Olwedu. Which country are you guys watching me from? And also, guys, let's solve the question. Do you think couples should live together before marriage? Do you think couples should live together before marriage? If yes, why do you think couples should live together before marriage? If no, why do you think couples should not live together before marriage? Okay, so as I was saying, most people usually opt to live with their partners just so that they can get to know who they really are, because most people feel like when you go on a date with somebody, they do not reveal their real character or who they really are in reality. Okay, so most people say that when they get to live with somebody, they get to know if it's really worthy to get married to them. Okay, but let me know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Would you move in with someone before marriage? Hussein says you're beautiful. Thank you. Okay, would you move in with somebody before marriage? Do you think couples should live together before marriage? Let's focus on that. So another thing is like you discover how your partner handles money, chores, stress, and conflict. Okay, you know, when you're living with somebody, it gets serious real quick. Okay, you guys start, you know, if you're living together, which means you're sharing bills, like somebody needs to pay for the for things in the house. Okay, when you I feel like most people usually say that when you start living together before you guys get married, you get to see how finances will work. You get to see, okay, this lady, especially this is for men, you get to see, is this lady clean? Do I want to get married to her? And then you get to see, because now you are in each other's faces so much, you get to see how do you handle conflict when you're together. Anas Falk says no. Why no? Do you think couples should live together before marriage? Why not? Okay, honestly, like I feel like if you start living with somebody before marriage, you start cohabiting, you slowly throw the whole thing about marriage out of the window. Like it just slowly stops being it stops being a need. It stops being something that needs to get done. It just becomes something that's you're thinking about sometimes. Okay, because already, like, if I'm already living with you, why would I want to marry you? Like, there's nothing fun that's gonna happen when we get married. Afsan says, you can ask those questions with someone who already knows that person. You can ask those questions with someone who already knows that person. Pardon me, please. Anas Falk. Oh my god, sorry for mispronouncing your name. After marriage, yes, of course. No, like before marriage. Do you think couples should live together before marriage? Before marriage, like the cohabiting. Cohabiting is a scenario where you guys just move in together without without any form of marriage, no any form of commitment. You just move in together. You just move in together for whatever reason. Ronald, Cloudy, DJ, Nobel says hi. Hi. Hussein Abdikadir says, where are you from? I'm from Kenya. Ronald Rupen says, beautiful, thank you so much. Antonio Wilton De Lima says, hey, good afternoon, beautiful, you're wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's go to the absolutely. Only men says absolutely not. Why? Why absolutely not? I think most men feel like when they move in with somebody before marriage, they get to know who they are really getting married to. So that's not your opinion, you guys. Okay, would you move in with someone before marriage? Would you move in with someone before marriage? If you say no, let me know why not. If you say yes, let me know why. Okay. So on the part where like people say that like they want to move in with their partners, they want to know who this person is really is. What happens? How will we share our finances? How will the chores be shared? How will we handle conflict? Okay, guys, kindly like the live stream as we all continue. Insatiable is my name, says good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. How are you doing? Do you think moving in with someone before marriage is a good idea? And as far as because I don't want to do that with her until she becomes my wife. You know what I mean, okay? Oh, so you don't want to get intimate with your woman before you get married? Wow, such people still exist, okay? So which means you're not gonna move in with her anyway. Is it because of intimacy or is there any other reason? Lorraine McQuex says yes. Why yes? Let me know why. Why? Okay, what are the reasons why you would move in with your woman before marriage? Yeah. So, Insatiable says, well, when I was married, I did. Okay, not when you are married, like without being married, like just moving with somebody without getting married to them. It's like you're road testing the car, you know? Like you're road testing the car. You know, sometimes some people say that like you cannot buy a car without testing it. So how you test it is by moving in together and see if you guys wanna be together. Hussein says, I haven't seen a Kenyan rapping in the past. Ooh, maybe you're gonna see. Lorraine says, because you test the water first, and if you don't like it, you can walk away instead of being stuck with forever. Wow. Okay. So what if you test the water and you don't want to be with that person? Okay. So for you to get married to somebody, you literally have to move in with them. What if they don't want to move in with you? Is that a deal breaker? You want to move in with somebody so that you can road test and all of that. So do you feel like you literally have to move in? What if the person that you want to be with says no, like I cannot move in like without getting married? Insatiable says no. Why no? Guys, would you move in with someone before marriage? Would you move in with someone before marriage? What we are calling cohabiting, okay? On the topic of cohabiting, okay? I think I've always been scared of, like, I feel like marriage makes life so serious. Like, what? Like, imagine you're married. Can you imagine even saying that? Like, you're married. Like, I feel like it's so serious. Like, first of all, I wouldn't want to be having marriage problems with someone that I'm not even married to. Okay, because first of all, when you move in together, you're starting to have marriage problems. Okay, although I don't disagree. Like, when we visit each other for a week or two, I want us to be together for those 2 weeks. But I still want to know, like, okay, at the end of the day, everybody's gonna go home. Everybody is gonna go home at the end of the day. Only Men says, is it It is not ethical. You would be living the life before you get the license to live it. Also, there won't be any excitement after the wedding. Okay, but see, you know what? I see that, like, if you move in with someone, there will be no excitement before after the wedding. But what if they're not they're not virgins? Like, when you move in together, will there be any excitement? Or maybe the excitement will be about moving in together. What will the excitement be about? Only means, so are you saying, so for you, is it all only about moving in together, or is also about intimacy? Okay, Andres says, hey, Nicki Minaj outfit, whatever. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. Kindly like the live stream and subscribe. Would you move in with someone before marriage? What I'm saying, like, cohabiting. Okay, we call it come we stay. We call it come we stay here in Kenya, like, where you just move in with someone, and then you just see how it goes. You just see how it goes. Okay. Chichiozi says game over, game over. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. We're talking about cohabitation before marriage. Is that smart or risky? Okay, is that smart or risky? Cohabitation before marriage, is that smart or risky? Okay, the other point that I was gonna talk about when it comes to the pros of moving in together before marriage is it can save someone from marrying someone they are incompatible with. Because when you move in with someone and then you see how they are, how they handle conflict and all of that, that might make you think like, you know what, I'm not in a rush to get married to this person. Because I feel like when you get married when you get married to somebody, it's very difficult to, like, separate from them. Okay, so it can save people. I feel like cohabiting can save people from marrying someone they're incompatible with. Also, it reduces the shock that comes after marriage. Let's say you are expecting this. Some people also lie to each other that, like, yeah, you know what, I have never been with someone before, and then when you move in together, it just becomes a shock. You know what, I also feel like we usually over, what is it called, overrate marriage and the first day of marriage. Like, I feel like most people get disappointed after they get married. Like, after the wedding ceremony, I feel like most people get disappointed because I think you most probably you expect life to be so much different, but it's really not. Okay. Kuldu Muhammad says, hey friend, hey to you, good to see you, welcome to the live stream. Would you move in with someone before marriage? Okay, and as you guys answer that, we're gonna move on with the next one. How long should a couple date before living together? How long should a couple date before living together? Just. How are you doing? Says very risky. Okay. Okay. How long should a couple date before living together? First of all, let me pin that. Just says very risky. They would be there just for the sex, and after a few times the relationship would be dead, usually ending in cheating. Okay, so you would not advise cohabiting. Okay, because I feel like when you get married to somebody, like, you just know that you've signed up for that. Okay, but when you just move in, you just feel like it's just somebody that you moved in. Okay, honestly, but on the other side, I feel like for me, moving in with somebody or, like, cohabiting is really risky, because how do you walk away? Like, how do you move out when you guys are not agreeing? Like, when there's conflict, how do you stop living together with this person? Like, how do you move out? Okay, so I feel like some people say they are some people say that like when you move in with this person, you're cohabiting with them, it's very difficult. It's very difficult for you to say, you know what, this is not my thing anymore, and just walk away, because now you're sharing bank accounts. Sometimes you are shopping together, your finances are intertwined, your lives are intertwined, you know. Most probably even maybe you guys already have a child and you're not married, like in that scenario of cohabiting. And as far says, how long after marriage? Okay, oh, the question, how long should a couple date before living together? Yeah, after marriage, like, oh, after marriage, how long after marriage? No, like, so how long should a couple date first of all before getting married? Of course, they're gonna move in together after the marriage. So how long should a couple date before living together? Honestly, I feel like 1 year, at least 1 year. The whole like 2 months, no. For me, that's just too risky. Like, I just feel like you're joking with your life, because when you get married to someone, that's permanent. Like, you know, when you get married to someone, they are not going anywhere, they are here to stay, like, you know. So how long should a couple date before living together? How long should a couple date before living together? Kanchi Yao says, how are you doing? Kulthum Muhammad says, guys, what would you do if you have a husband who is stingy but doesn't allow you to work and you can't leave your marriage? Why can't you leave your marriage? Because one of you guys have to provide. One person have to provide. And if you cannot work, then somebody needs to provide, and it's definitely him. Only means long enough until they get to know each other's heart and get married. Long enough until they get to know each other's heart. But how long is long enough? Me personally, I would say more than 1 year, at least 1 year. I have, maybe I've seen people, you know, I usually watch these shows, like for example Jerry Springer's Koramo. You find out somebody moved in together when they were 3 months in, maybe even got married 3 months in. Like, I feel like 3 months you don't know somebody, you're still in the honeymoon stage, and that person could be putting on a persona, and then you get to know them. You know, honestly, the whole topic about marriage is really risky, because first of all, you're talking about a whole total stranger. This is a total stranger, a person that you just met. Okay, we're talking about somebody that you just met. Yeah, so I feel like the longer you wait before you move in, the better. And as far oh my god, 1 year, yes, I agree with you. Okay, at least. And you know, I feel like 1 year is not the ultimate goal, but at least 1 year. By the second year, you can start deciding, or being like, okay, maybe I can move in with this person. Just says a couple should only love together when they are married. Oh, live. You meant live. A couple should only live together when they are married. Okay, so does that also apply to intimacy? Should a couple only be intimate after they are married? Okay. Um, Yazana says, do you speak Arabic? No, I don't, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm still talking about, so there's two sides to this. Cohabitation before marriage, is it smart or risky? So cohabitation before marriage, is it smart or risky? So I did talk about the smart part, where you get to know somebody, you get to be like, okay, you know what, this person not worth it. Like, you've already road tested, and then you're like, no. The cons are like, some couples become comfortable and stop progressing towards marriage. You know, you just feel like, this person, now this is my person. Like, why would I get married to you? Like, we're already married. Like, why would I want to go, and why would I want to have a ceremony? Okay, why would I want to do that? Okay, so that's the part where it's risky. If you move in with somebody, there's a possibility that you'll never get married, because you guys just start normalizing, because you're already having marriage problems. You just get comfortable, and it's like, you start having children, 5 children in, you're still not married. So there's that. So living together makes it harder to live an unhealthy relationship, because lives become intertwined. Yeah, I think that one I've already talked about, like, where your lives get intertwined. But the moment you keep living together, let's say you've cohabited for like 5 years, Okay, can you imagine 5 years? I am betting there's also a child involved in all of that. Um, let me keep reading your thing. Anas Fal says, "Where are you from, Womboy?" I'm from Kenya. Yazan Yozora says, "Tell me, do you speak Arabic?" No, I don't. San says, "Tomorrow FIFA Cup, France versus Senegal." On that, I think I'm gonna go with Senegal. Prediction: who will win match? For me, I think Senegal will. Yazan Yozora says, "Do you know Algeria?" Yeah, I do know Algeria. North Africa. First, France versus Senegal. I think Senegal will win. Okay. Anyway, going back to our topic, we have a question on the screen. How long should a couple date before living together? How long should a couple date before living together? Okay. So as I was saying, I feel like living together makes it harder to live an unhealthy situation. Uh, Long live Algeria, okay? Dark Reaper Assassin says from Haiti. You're from Haiti. Oh my god, that's good. I think the first Haitian person in the channel. Okay, yeah, Team Senegal. Team Senegal. Uh, so another thing where like the risky part about moving in with your partner, I feel like the religious and cultural beliefs often discourage it most of the time. Like most especially, let's say, most religions do not encourage people living together before marriage. Okay. Okay, if you've lived with your if you've lived with a partner before marriage, would you do it again? Let me type that. No, I'm Kenyan, I'm not from Senegal. Sun says tomorrow FIFA Cup, Argentina versus Algeria. Brian Mancia says Argentina play today, chat. Sun says predictions, so you go for Sadio Mane. Argentina win today, I think. Sun says who win the match? They knocked out by Portugal in quarter final. Okay, guys, let's focus on the question. Even though the football is still a nice one. Okay. So the question is, if you've lived with a partner before marriage, would you do it again? If you've ever moved in with your partner before, would you do it again? Like if you've moved in with a partner and maybe for some reason you guys moved out, would you do it again? Would you do it again? Okay, guys, welcome to the live. So you're talking about cohabitation before marriage. Is it smart or risky? Okay, do you think couples should live together before marriage? So if you've lived with a partner before marriage, would you do it again? Okay, personally, I have never lived with a partner, so I don't know. So if you've lived with a partner before marriage, would you do it again? Okay, let's see if there's any one of you guys who have lived with a partner before. Would you do it again? Is it worth it? Do you think it's worth it? Guys, welcome to the live stream. We are talking about cohabiting before marriage. Whereby cohabiting is like whereby you just move in with somebody without being married legally. You just start moving in together, living together like married people. Mexico semi-final though. Okay, so would you if you've lived with a partner before marriage, would you do it again? Okay, so but also still, as I was saying, some people feel it can create a married life without a formal commitment. You know, first of all, when you move in with somebody, you kind of start having married people's problems. Okay, you start having married people's problems, but you're not really married. Okay, let me look. Germany win March. When? Okay, you guys. I have been like trying to like follow with the World Cup, but yeah, I usually like maybe write down the teams and all of that, but not successfully. Okay. So still, when we are talking about cohabitation before marriage, we are still talking about cohabitation before marriage. Um, so the next question will be, let me type it as a Q&A. Pardon says hi. Hi to you. Okay, does cohabitation increase or decrease the chances of a successful marriage? When you move in with somebody without getting married to them, do you think that increases or decreases the chance of the marriage being successful? Okay, and while I know most of us has our parents who maybe did not get married, not legally, but they didn't go through the whole wedding or whatever happens. Okay, so do you think that increases the chances of having the marriage successful or not? Okay, so decreases. Why? Does cohabitation increase the chances of successful marriage? You know, some of you guys have been. How many of you guys have watched Polygamist? Honestly, I tried to watch it, but I just couldn't get over the fact that the lips were not syncing with the words from the creators. I am seeing you guys go haywire on it on social media, talking about uh how it sheds a light on marriage. Okay, so how many of you guys have watched that? Also, if you think cohabitation decreases the chances of a successful marriage, why? Okay. Also, personally, what I would bet when it comes to, does cohabitation increase or decrease the chances of successful marriage? Wow. You know, I don't remember if I. Okay. Does cohabitation increase if you don't follow Islam? You will a loser. You'll be a loser. Why? I could say the same with Christianity. If somebody doesn't follow Christianity, yeah, I feel like yes, religion contributes to the person that somebody becomes, but I feel like being you have to be your own person. Okay, does cohabitation increase or decrease the chances of successful marriage? Ahmed Yazid says, "Are you Irish or Scottish?" I'm Scottish. Pando says you will lose. Oh my god. Abti Hal Marna Hajin says hi. Hi to you. Do you think cohabiting increases or decreases the chances of successful marriage? No, blessings from God. Okay, so you also think when people are moving together, cohabiting, so do you think that also makes them not to be blessed by God? Brian Lynn says, people please hit the like up and share the live and put the bell on people. Please share it on YouTube, IG, and Facebook. Oh my God! Thank you, thank you, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Does cohabitation increase or decreases the chances of a successful marriage? Jaja Katabazi says, hello, love you so much. Okay. Hello, Jaja. Does cohabitation increase or decrease the chances of successful marriage? Okay. Remember, you guys, we are talking about cohabitation before marriage. Is it smart or risky? Okay. Is it something that everybody maybe should do? Yeah. Okay, let me wait for some of the responses. Does cohabiting increase or decreases the chance of getting married? Not getting married, the chances of a successful marriage, sorry. Chances of a successful marriage. Wow. Okay. You know, this also brings me to the topic whereby I have been seeing a lot of people talk about that. Like, I saw somebody talk about that. Like, uh, they are moving into. They moved. Okay, no, they got married to their partner, but they have not moved together. Like, everybody have their own place. Okay. So it brings me to the question. It brings me to the question: would you marry someone without ever living with them? Let me type that question. Um, I'm Kong Long Kong says, damn bro, you are genuinely a pretty woman. Keep grinding. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Would you marry someone without ever living with them? Like you just get married to them and everybody maintain their own place. Uh you help each other financially, you help each other when it comes to the conjugal rights and all of those things. But you just don't live with them. Okay, would you do that? Would you marry someone without ever living with them? I am conscious. Hell nah. Why why not? It gives you personal space, privacy. It gives you the longing, like you long to see that person. I feel like, is there anyone here who is married here and they live with their partner? Do you guys feel like you want each other, like you feel like you've missed each other? First of all, you're sleeping with this person every other day, which means there's no excitement about that. Like, they're always there. They're always there. And also, maybe you guys are intimate every day. Like, okay. Would you marry someone without ever living with them? Okay. Which brings me to my next question. Would you marry someone without ever living with them? Would you marry someone without ever living with them? Guys, remember we are talking about cohabitation before marriage, whereby if you don't know what cohabiting is whereby you just move in with somebody without getting, you're not married, but you just move in, you start living life like married people. Okay, but also in the same realm, we're talking about, would you marry, you get married to somebody and then everybody maintain their own place? Like, if the answer is yes, why? If no, why? I feel like if you're not gonna be moving in together, what's the purpose of getting married? Because I feel like the purpose of marriage is so that you can be able to build a family. Also, the purpose of marriage is the fact that you guys start living together. You are able to intertwine your resources. You are able to invest into. It's like a project. I feel like marriage is like a project, and you guys are able to invest into the project equally by doing different chores. So if the marriage ends, if you guys are legally married, everybody can be able to claim something from the marriage. But if not, then I feel like then one person can say, you know, I'm the owner of all of this, but the truth is everybody was putting into the project. I am Kong says, without marriage, living together is wrong, at least to me. But as married couples, the soul and body should intertwine. Hey, intertwine. Okay, so does this also apply? Because you say moving in together, like cohabiting before marriage, you say that kind of like it's not good, like it's not healthy. So does that mean, is that about intimacy, or is that just about moving in together? Okay, does that mean that you can be intimate together? Thomas says, good evening, dear Wamboy. That question answers itself. Living together, yes, but I'm staying single forever. Wow. Okay, so you would prefer cohabiting. Okay. Wow. So that question answers, the answer is yes, but I'm staying single forever. So you can get married to somebody and then you just live your separate lives. Wow, interesting. Okay, and there was another question that I did ask, but most of you are not here. I asked a question. The question was, if you have ever lived with a partner before marriage, would you do it again? And I feel like this, maybe people who are over in their 30s are the ones who maybe would have that chance. People over 30 are the one, maybe they have already moved with somebody at some point in their life. Would you guys do it again? Yeah. Teachers. You know, I feel like I also learned from this experience. First of all, personally, I've never been married, and also I never moved in with somebody. The chance that I could have moved in with someone is when I was in campus, but I was just so focused with the books, like I couldn't afford to move in with somebody. Honestly, I also was also silly. I thought when I move in with someone, I automatically get pregnant. That was my thought process. So I just, no. Mila Chim says, Michelle, okay, how are you doing, Milachi? Kendrick Bond says yes. Why yes? Why would you want to live separately with your female after you get married to them? I am Kong says, but I mean, like, in this economy, who the genuinely married? Okay, but see, this is exactly the time where females want to get married. But see, you know, I think you're looking at the aspect of like it gets expensive. But can you imagine if you guys get married, you kind of like combine your bills, you start just living a life together, you know? Joseph Edward says, hi to you, good to see you, welcome to the live stream. Would you marry someone without ever living with them? So you get married to them and then you don't live with them. And guys, remember the topic is about cohabiting, cohabitation before marriage. Cohabitation before marriage. Okay, why would you not want to get married in this economy? Okay, I'm assuming you're literally the guy, which means you carry most of the load. But wow, okay, I thought you guys are only thinking about not having children. Even getting married, you guys are considering that as like a burden. God, honestly, by the year 2050, I don't know if marriage will even be a thing anymore. I don't think it will be a thing anymore. Yeah, no, it will be like if you want to procreate, you just identify you see like how horses breed. I feel like in the next few years, like for example in like 2050, it will be I feel like in the year 2050, marriage will be a thing of the past. There will be maybe small groups of people getting married, but I feel like marriage will be a thing of the past. What will happen is people will just be identifying their sperm donor. Like you just identify somebody, you are like you want to interbreed with them, and that's it. You just do it, and bruh, because I feel like we are being sold the idea of like, of course, some of us who grew up witnessing marriage being sour, being bitter, marriage being painful, we don't want it. Okay, and I'm not talking, okay, I'm talking about myself. Of course, me personally, I didn't grow up seeing a good example of marriage. Okay, but at the same time, I still see the beauty of marriage and all of that, but most people who grew up seeing pain in marriage don't want to get married. Norma says, well, I also know women who don't want to get married. A divorce can be very expensive in my country. Okay, I know in most European countries very expensive. But I feel like, you know why there's not enough recorded cases here in African countries? Because most people in African countries do not legally get married. But what they do is they just move in. What I've seen is just people just move in. Okay, initially people used to change their last name. You move in with a person, you change your last name to their name, and that's it. So which means in any case of separation, there's no divorce. What you're just doing, you just go and change your last name. But I know for you guys, it's like a whole process. Okay. Jordan says, no, I won't. This isn't 90 days to wed. Okay, so you will not live with somebody, you will not marry without ever, like I know, like 90 days fiance, whatever, okay, that's good. So guys, we're still talking about cohabitation before marriage. Okay, cohabitation before marriage. So if anybody who is willing to give us the information, have any one of you guys have ever what is it called, cohabited with somebody? Would you do it again? If you've ever cohabited with somebody, would you do it again? I wish I had that experience. I would tell you if I would. So if your partner wanted to cohabit but you didn't, would that be a deal breaker? Okay, I don't know. Maybe I should type. Let me just type this on the screen. These topics usually just open my eyes so much because of seeing you guys' experience. And guys, can you like the live stream and subscribe? Okay, if your partner wanted to cohabit but you didn't, would that be a deal breaker? Let's say you like this person so much. Okay, you like them, you love them and all of that, but they want to cohabit. Would that be a deal breaker for you? Would that make you feel like, you know what, I really like you, I really love you, but no, I'm not gonna do that? Would that give you such a reaction? If your partner wanted to cohabit but you didn't, would that be a deal breaker? I feel like it should. I feel like on my end, yes. If somebody wants to cohabit but I don't want to cohabit, that should be a deal breaker, because at the end of the day, it's like you're now moving with somebody but you didn't want to. I feel like both parties should want to move in together so that you guys can move in together. Yeah, but I still feel like at my big age of 24, I still feel like marriage is something that's so serious. I feel like it's supposed to be for older people, if your partner wanted to cohabit but you didn't, would that be a deal breaker? Would that be a deal breaker? Also, I feel like for people who do long distance dating, I feel cohabiting is never really like something that happens. It doesn't happen. Which means by the time you're moving together, it has to be really intentional. You have to want to move in with them, because you realize when you're doing long distance dating and relationships, so that you can move in together, one of you guys have to decide that they are willing to move to the other person's country. Can you imagine? Okay, so the long distance, I feel like as far as long distance, people discourage them, like long distance relationship. I feel like long distance relationship, they are together because they have chosen to be together, because honestly, you guys cannot live together until one of you decide to move to the other person's country. I'd be interested to know. A lot of people get married in Kenya. What's your take on that? I think, in my opinion, I think most people don't get married in Kenya. I feel like they just move in and most just change their last name. They just do the village thing where you just move in with somebody. So do you think a lot of people get married in Kenya? Although I feel like the law recognizes here, as far as you've lived with somebody for I don't know how many years, they consider them to be married to you. If you live with somebody for more than how many years? I don't know. Let me look up. How many years? Oh wow, I asked Google, how many years do you have to live or cohabit with someone to be considered married in Kenya? Okay, there's no number of years living together. Even for 7 or 10 years never makes you legally married in US. Okay, I want to see in Kenya. In Kenya, I kind of heard some rumors saying that in Kenya, wow, it also does not qualify. What? In Kenya, cohabitation alone does not automatically make a couple legally married. The law recognizes cohabitation as a presumption of marriage, but this presumption can be rebutted with strong evidence. The Supreme Court has established guidelines from this presumption, which include long cohabitation. Couples must have lived together for a significant period. Legal capacity to marry. Both partners must be legally able to marry. Intent to marry. Evidence suggesting the couple intend to be married. Consent, mutual agreement to be married. Public reputation, presenting themselves as married couple to the community. Without registration, couples risk serious legal, including property dispute and inheritance issues. Wow. Even in Kenya, they don't recognize, but I feel like, for example, like my parents have never been married, but they just started living together. But it's something that used to happen in the villages. Like you start living together, the female changes their last name to yours, and that's it. Then you guys are considered married. Hostel takeover says, please come get you Kenyan siblings here in South Africa. Why would you say that? Daisenga Alphonse, he says hi to you. Doma says, the question if I marry a Kenyan woman, do I also get Kenyan citizenship in addition to my German citizenship? I think so. Yeah, you do. I know somebody who lives in the place where I live at. They are from the US. They are married to their partner, and I think they already have their citizenship. Yeah, you do. You get, and the Kenyan, you only need to be with this person for like 4 years. So let me check, 4 or 7, something. With 4 years, you get permanent. If you're married to them, you get permanent residence and all of that. Yeah. Daisenga Alphonse says, hey, Rwanda Kigali. Yeah, and also I think Kenya supports dual citizenship. The other day, there's a time that we were asking for if a foreign person can even have a Kenyan bank account. It's literally difficult. I thought it's, our borders are usually very much open, so which means everybody can come into our country. But when it comes to like setting up businesses, staying here without a visa, I feel like it's difficult for foreigners to do that. And then with corruption, yeah, I feel like getting married to get the Kenyan citizenship would be a shorter route or something. Hmm. Uh, okay. You guys have not answered the question. If you've lived with the okay, no, not that question. I need to type the question. No, RDP tracker says no. Why not? If your partner wanted to cohabit but you didn't, okay, I'm typing. I am so slow at typing. If your partner wanted to cohabit but you didn't, would that be a deal breaker? If your partner wanted to cohabit but you didn't, would that be a deal breaker? Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. We are talking about cohabiting before marriage. What's your idea about cohabiting before marriage? Do you think it's smart or risky? Is it smart or risky? Is it something that you would want to do? So also we do have a question. If your partner wanted to cohabit, they want to start living with you, moving with you, but you don't want to do that. Is that a deal breaker? Is that something that you will just go through because they want you to? Cloudy G Binal says hi. Hi to you. Good to see you. Okay. We have a question on the screen. If your partner wanted to cohabit, let me remove this from the screen first. If your partner wanted to cohabit but you didn't, would that be a deal breaker? Would that be a deal breaker? I think it should be. It should be because it's like you're being rushed into something that you don't want to. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I was watching a reel on Instagram, and then there was this girl. She was saying that like she likes she it was a girl and her partner, and she was saying, they were telling each other, I like you, I want you, I want to be with you, I want to live with you forever, but we don't need to involve the government in our issue. Like, we don't need to involve the government in our marriage, so we are not gonna get legally married. And so how many people feel that way? Like, is it because she doesn't think that he's the best person? Will that change when, I have seen so many people say that they don't want to get married, and then they meet somebody, and then they immediately change their mind. I have seen people who are like me, who have said that they don't want children, but then they meet this specific person, and then they just change their mind, maybe because they feel like this person would make a good mother, this person would make a good father. Okay, and not to say people are allowed to change their minds, okay, but what happens in such a scenario where we are saying that, like, okay, I like you, I want to be with you, but we don't need to involve the government in our private issues, which quote unquote marriage, okay? So Is that because maybe they are not ready to get married? Is that because they don't want to be with this person? What do people naturally feel like they want to get married? Does everybody feel like, oh, you know what, I want to get married? I feel like this whole topic about cohabiting is like, it's a real topic, but unfortunately by the year 2050, in my opinion, I feel like most people will be cohabiting. People will just be so tired to get married, it will not be happening anymore. And you know what, by then, like right now, we're already in a culture where you cannot shame people. You cannot shame people for anything. You cannot shame somebody because they are thin, they are fat. You cannot. So by then you will be like, you cannot shame somebody because they're not married, you know. Okay, let me keep going with the questions. I'm typing the question on the screen right now. Doma says, it's a difficult question when you live in different countries and are far apart and come from different cultures. I myself am still able to maintain my relationship. Okay. But see, like, the moment you guys decide to move in, you have to decide who is moving to the other one. That's a fact. When it comes to long distance, you have to decide who is gonna move to the other one, who is more lighter. Okay. It's usually the one without a house moves to the one with a house, because you can't. Okay, the one with the serious jobs. Okay, the one the one with, okay, so you know what you do when, let's say, you are dealing with different countries, you do who is more easier to move to the other person. Let's say so and so, who has a more flexible job, so and so, who has a more pay, you move to the one with a higher pay, with maybe a house, because you're not about to move to somebody with nothing, like they're even renting their studio. You're not about to move in with that person. So I feel like for people in long distance relationship, you have to really want to be with that person for to make it happen, not to mention like the immigration and all of that. Yeah, you're gonna saw it. Makanaka says, hi Chi, good to see you. Would you marry someone you've never lived with? Would you marry someone you've never cohabited with? I think that's the real question. Okay. I feel like, because most people want to road test, even when it comes to living together, when it comes to different things, most people just want to road test. So would you marry someone that you've never lived with? Like, you don't know how they are they clean? How many times do they shower? How do they sleep? You know, like hygiene. I feel like marriage is more serious than we are willing to talk about. Wangu says, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing great. How are you doing? Would you marry someone you've never lived with, like you've never road tested, cohabited? Okay. Well, I feel like marriage is more serious than we are willing to admit. Can you imagine, like, when you move in with somebody, now you get to know about their hygiene. You guys are sharing washrooms. There's a lot. That's serious. Would you marry someone you've never lived with? Would you marry someone you've never lived with? Wangu says, I'm good. I'd never do that. Would you do it? Marry someone that I've never lived with? Yes. I don't want to cohabit. But see, like, also, before I get married to someone, honestly, I gotta spend like a week or two with you in the same house to just see how you're doing stuff, and to see if can I handle this, can I handle that. Beast or says, hey, what's up, beautiful? What's up, Hunt? Beautiful. Okay, welcome to the live stream. Would you marry someone you've never lived with? Would you marry someone you've never lived with? So, guys, remember we're talking about cohabiting before marriage. Is it smart or risky? Okay, maybe the smart part is whereby you get to know this person really well, like you get to see their cleanliness. Can I match this? Do I want this? How do this person handle conflict? Okay, how do this person handle their finances? Because I feel like the only family member that you get to choose is your husband. That's or your wife. That's the only family member that you get to choose. uh so on the part where we are saying cohabitation is smart is whereby you get to like have a full view of who this person is. And on the other side is where we are saying you're literally risking, because you might move in together, you get too comfortable and never get married. You might move in together and then that you just see like, okay, this is not the best person for me. We are not compatible. Gerhard Nicholas Hating says, thank you guys. Okay, thank you. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, let me see. Would you marry someone you've never lived with? And when it comes to living with, we are talking about cohabitation. You wanna cohabit? Yeah, in campus that used to be so common, like people. But also people move. There's so many different reasons why people move in together or cohabit. It could be so that you can save on rent. When you move in together, then you're able to consolidate the finances. Instead of paying for two houses, you only pay for one. Instead of buying groceries. Also, I feel like for other people, it's like, even when you have different houses, you're always at each other's house. Okay? You're always at the other person's house. So, why not? Okay? Would you marry someone you've never lived with? So, I feel like my answer is yes, because if you don't want to cohabit, then how will you have lived with? Okay, so the whole idea about road test. What is it called? Why buy the cow if you're getting the milk for free? So is this saying outdated or still relevant right now? Let me type that. Okay, why buy the cow? Why buy the cow if you're getting the milk for free? Is the saying outdated or still relevant? Okay, there's that saying whereby why would you want to buy? Why buy the cow if you're getting the milk for free? Okay, let's look at that. Let's look at that, guys. Remember, we're still talking about cohabitation before marriage. Is it smart or risky? Is it smart or risky? Okay, this whole saying about why buy the cow if you're getting the milk for free. So is the saying outdated or still relevant? Okay, and this is to the fact that, if you move in with somebody, you're giving them the privilege privileges of someone who's married. As a man, when you move in with a lady, most probably you're buying things in that household. Most probably you're providing, of course, conjugal rights here and there. It's happening, okay. So the fact that you guys are giving for the woman, you're there, you're cleaning clothes for this person, you're serving them, you're cooking and all of that, and everything that you could do, okay. So if they are getting these things for free without committing, like, why buy the cow if you're getting the milk for free? So is it outdated or still relevant? Okay, does it apply these days? I feel like that's the funniest thing that I've ever had. But I think it has helped most women not to give the milk for free. ah, yeah. Let me pin this, guys. Welcome to the live stream. When you join in, let me know which country you're watching me from. My good name is Omboy. I was born and raised in Kenya, and this is I Am Omboy Live. We usually do a lot of this during the live stream. First of all, for example, like today we're talking about cohabitation before marriage. Okay, would you cohabit with someone before marriage? Also, we have a question like, why buy the cow if you're getting the milk for free? Okay, there's that question that most people usually ask. Why buy the cow if you're getting the milk for free? So is that still relevant, or is just an outdated thing that people normally say? Okay, so when it comes to this topic, and in my opinion, I feel like the cons outweigh the pros. Okay, the reasons why you should cohabit with somebody, they are not as strong as the reasons why you shouldn't. Okay, uh, so in my opinion, I feel like okay, cohabiting happens. It doesn't mean that I'll never cohabit, but I feel like it's literally a risk. Like, you're literally putting yourself out there. You're risking. You're risking a lot by doing that. Uh-huh. Let me type this question here on the screen so that we can have to. Okay, would you move in with someone after? God, why did I type like that? And there's no button for editing. Okay, you guys know what I'm saying. Would you move in with someone after dating for 6 months? My answer, would I move in with someone after dating for 6 months? God, I feel like that's such a hurry. Unless there's an underlying issue why we are moving in that quick. No. I feel like 6 months is too early. Okay, if there is a purpose or a reason why we are hurrying, then that's a whole another issue. But if there's no reason for hurrying, then I feel like you should take your time. Shewapes says no. Why not? Would you move in with someone after dating 6 months? If you would, why would you move in? If not, why not? Would you move in with someone after dating for 6 months? Okay, I feel like, for me, honestly, my answer is no. I feel like 6 months is such a short time, and if there's no reason why you guys are hurrying, then okay. But in the case of pregnancy, for example, you guys become pregnant, I feel like when it comes to like pregnancy, if you're hurrying because of pregnancy, then I don't know. Like it's like you, especially for the woman, it's like you're desperate because you don't have options. So in that case, I could see why you're rushing to move in. But if there's no pregnancy, uh there's no one that needs help. Okay, if one of you guys is homeless, and okay, that's okay. But if it's just okay, like, why are we hurrying? Would you move in with someone after dating 6 months? Would you move in with someone after dating 6 months? Leo says hello. Hello to you. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. How are you doing? We're talking about cohabiting. Cohabiting before marriage. Is it smart or risky in your opinion? Would you do it? Okay. So still, we do have the question on the screen. Most of you are saying no. Okay. Yeah. My opinion. Yeah, your opinion. Your opinion. Here is all about your opinion as a person. Your opinion. Would you move in with someone after dating 6 months? Uh, oh. Guys, welcome to the live stream. Let me know which country you're watching me from. First of all, you can comment with your country's flag before we even continue. Let me know. Let me know my reach. Let me know my reach. You guys, I was looking at the statistics the other day. I was looking at somebody, people from Guyana. Let me read for some of you, those for you guys. They were literally so exciting for me. And oh my. Shepe says 6 months is not enough to know someone. That is why. Okay. What if you spend the whole day together for 6 months? Is that enough time to know somebody? Ezra Basil, how are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome back. Heck no. Living alone is the best option. Will you ever get married? Okay, you say living alone is the best option, but if you'll ever get married, living alone is not an option forever. Okay, that's what I was saying. In the year 2050, I hope we'll still be here to see, but I believe in the by the year 2050, marriage will be like a thing of the past. It will be like, why are you getting married? Like, people will, it will be more of like, for example, you want children, it will be more of like you see, like how horses breed. You look for the best, for the best male that there is. That's what will be happening, to be really honest. Yeah, people will prioritize self-growth over moving in with somebody just so that you can abuse each other, you know. Yeah, so can you guys see that, like, what I'm saying? Do you guys think that I might be right? People, okay, I'm not saying that people will not be getting married, but it will be very low numbers, very low numbers. Okay, so what was I gonna do? Oh no, I was going to uh read the countries that I've seen that you guys tune in from. Okay. Okay, and you guys can still answer the question. Ezra, Ezra, I'm still waiting for you. You said a huge heck no. Faisal says, ew. Why are you saying ew? Okay. Okay, would you move in with someone after dating 6 months? 6 months. Okay, no. So the answer for you, it's no. You know why? Okay, let me read the country, some of the countries that you guys tune in from. Wow, surprising. Bangladesh. I don't know where that is. I know maybe it's in Asia. Guyana, Benin, Netherlands, Australia, Mozambique, Gambia, Congo, Trinidad and Tobago, Zimbabwe, Togo, Haiti, Sierra Leone, Uzbekistan, wow, Botswana, Nepal, uh, Cambodia, Indonesia, Germany, Germany, Malaysia, Burkina Faso, um, Malawi, Morocco, Pakistan, Namibia, Canada, Mali, Congo, Ghana, Burma, Saudi Arabia, France, Rwanda, Algeria, Somalia, Jamaica, India, Zambia, Uganda, Nigeria, UK, Tanzania, Iraq, Cote d'Ivoire, Ethiopia, Philippines, Senegal, US, South Africa, Kenya. Can you imagine? So those are some of the people who are watching. Wow. I feel like I get to experience these countries through you. I'm back from Ethiopia. Okay, I am seeing the statistics. Ethiopia. Okay, so welcome back. Okay, so we're still talking about the same topic, even though we are diverging a little bit. We're still talking about cohabiting. Okay, cohabiting, and I know for religions, for example, when it comes to Islam, okay, you know, sometimes we have to talk about, I feel like most Christians, we are lukewarm Christians, okay. I don't know if you guys agree with me. Most Christians, we are lukewarm Christians, okay. Okay, and I'm not saying that Islam people who do Islam, I'm not saying that they don't sin, but what I'm saying is, at least for example, when it comes to, like, especially moving in with somebody without getting married, it rarely happens. It rarely happens with Islamic people. But when it comes to us Christians, no, like, it doesn't matter. Okay. Leo says, the problem is, do you think you know him well enough? Okay, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. First of all, I've never moved in with somebody that soon. And also, I'm not planning to move in with somebody that soon. 6 months? No. No. At least 1 year. At least 1 year. Okay, but you know, I feel like when it comes to, like, getting married and then getting divorced, I feel like that puts a stain on your name. Like, it kind of like destroys your reputation, because the next person the next person that you're meeting, they're like, why did your relationship end? Like, oh my god, you were married before. Wow, like, god, it just feels like especially for a female. For a man, it's like, oh, I was married before, then okay. For a female, if you've been married before, it's like, oh my god, like, what? Why did your marriage end? And all of that. You know, I feel like there's a lot of explaining to do than when it comes to a guy. Do you guys feel the same? Like, it's kind of like a failed marriage kind of puts a mark on your name or something. Jindrajao Kabiaso says, hi to you, good to see you guys. When you're joining, let me know the country you're watching me from. Also, we are talking about cohabiting before marriage. Is it smart or risky? Shuape says 1 year also not enough. Wow, 1 year is not enough. How long is enough for you to get married and move in with somebody? I feel like 1 year. Okay, 2 years. How about 2 years? Okay, Shawape says 1 year is not enough to get to know somebody. Wow. So how many years should people date before they start planning to get married? Rao Kabiaso says, of course, why not? Okay, so you would move in with somebody within 6 months of knowing them. Shuape says 2 or 3 years. Okay, how long do you get to know somebody before you start planning marriage? Guys, let me know. Shuape says that 6 months or 1 year is not enough to get to know somebody. to make such a major decision like getting married. What do you guys think? Okay, I don't know why I feel like most of the time when people get married it's like they change, but when I look at it, mostly it's because they have not dated long enough. People can only hide their persona or their character for so long. So if you've seen them for so long, I don't think you would miss who they really are. Blessed Boy says, show the world where you're from. Okay, personally Kenya. You guys can comment with your country's flag. Okay, thank you so much for the likes, guys. Thank you guys for the likes, the subscription, and all of that. Okay, we're still talking about cohabitation before marriage. Okay, cohabiting before marriage, is it smart or risky? Okay, is it a smart move or a risky move? Okay, would you we're still on how long should you get to know somebody before moving in with them, or even starting to get married with them? Shower says 2 or 3 years at least. 2 or 3 years at least. Wow. Okay. I always think that maybe 1 year is at least enough. Blessed Boy says, I'm from. Is that Jamaica? What flag is that? Brazil? Wow. Shower says, I'm married after 3 years and 4 months. Oh wow, how do you like it? Okay, let me sit down and get lectured here. Okay, when it comes to somebody who is married, like, I want to listen. Okay, how would you say when you get married with somebody, when you move in with somebody, do they change? Like, do you feel like it's like you got lied to? I always hear people say that, like, when people get married, your partner changes and becomes a whole different person. Did that happen to you guys? Now I'm all ears. Do you also, when you're married to somebody, do you lose interest in, like, like, maybe, when people are dating, they always want each other and all of that. Okay, but that sometimes changes after marriage. So does knowing each other change how that turns out? Does Dacia Simray says, can you be my girlfriend or boy? I'm engaged, unfortunately for you. Okay, cohabitation before marriage, smart or risky? Okay, is that smart or risky? Okay. Wow. Now I'm all ears. I'm sitting down here waiting for your response. Like, how is marriage? Like, for those who are married, tell us, how does it feel? Oh, you also have 2 daughters. Wow. Okay, does it feel like you and your partner have changed to become different people? Do you feel like the person that you got married to is still the person that you have right now, like the person that you interact with right now? Okay, wow. Guys, welcome to the live stream. We are still talking about cohabitation before marriage. Is it smart or risky? Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. We're still talking about cohabiting. Blessed Boy says, Brazil song 2014 Guiano. Okay, I guess right. You guys, your flag is almost like Jamaica. God, I am so bad at flags. But welcome to the live stream. Okay, wow. So guys, we're still asking questions here. For example, this question on the screen have been there for a minute. Would you move in with someone after dating for 6 months? Okay, and I think that what you're talking about right now, how long should a couple date before getting married and living together? Okay. Okay, we have the other question right there. Is marriage necessary in today's generation? Is marriage necessary? Okay, so when all is said and done, when we are talking about cohabiting, people are cohabiting and they have children, they do everything as a married people. But when it comes to the licensing, the marriage, the what you go and report to the government that you've gotten married. So is marriage necessary in today's generation? Is it important? Like, is it something that people should be doing? Is this something that people should be looking forward to? Okay, so is marriage necessary in today's generation? Okay, yeah, I feel like, in my opinion, okay, let me wait for you guys. L3 motion says yes. Why yes? Is marriage necessary in today's generation? Remember, you guys, you've been talking about cohabitation before marriage. Cohabiting is whereby you start living with somebody without being married to them. You just start cohabiting, you do things like married people and all of that. So, and also this brings me to the question, is marriage necessary in today's generation? Blessed Boy says, I'm coming real quick. Tona Kang says, hi. Hi, Tona. Good to see you. Like Dan. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Blessed Boy says, I'm back. You're so beautiful. Thank you. So, is marriage necessary in today's generation? Okay, we are still talking about cohabiting. Okay, in a world that we like, you can literally whatever you're looking for in marriage, you can get it without getting there. You can have children without getting married. You can do all those other things without getting married. So, in a world where everything is readily available, okay, if you want somebody to console you for a day, you will get that. So in a world where that is huge, is marriage necessary in today's generation? First of all, personally, I feel like at the end of the day, everyone needs somebody who is theirs, like personal. A personal person. I feel like somebody needs a personal person. You need somebody who you can be honest with. You need somebody who you can share with. L33 motion says, but you do need to be married or engaged before kids. Okay, but what if you don't want kids? Is marriage necessary if you don't want children? Even if you want children, like, you can also have children without the marriage. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So is marriage still necessary in today's generation? Shuapen says marriage is heaven special for men. Why? Why is marriage heaven special for men? Okay, okay, and this, honestly, thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying. In your opinion, why is marriage heaven special for men? Okay, Blessed Boy says my leg is strong, able to make a ball fly. Okay. Is marriage necessary in today's generation? Marriage is heaven special for men. Okay, maybe because of the role of woman in the society, maybe that's why marriage is special. But I feel like, is marriage really necessary? Is it really that? Okay, I see why marriage would be really necessary, especially when it comes to children. Children thrive better when both parents are present. There's also the whole aspect of like raising children together and all of that, but we also have what is it called, co-parenting. We also have co-parenting. Rainbow Princess, boring. Go start your show and all of that. L3 Motion says, I think it's more about what the teachings say in the Bible for religious people. Wow. Okay. So, Erika Ayman says, for assets, yes. Wow. So for you, marriage is mostly about being able to secure the asset. You don't want to invest in a marriage and then get out empty-handed. Okay. So is it safe to say that marriage is about fulfilling societal's expectation? Can we safely say it's about what you get? Can we safely say marriage is about property? Can you maybe say it's about inheriting somebody? Can we say it's about maybe insurance? Can we say it's about all those things? If those things were not in play, if we didn't have a society that judges people for not getting married, if we didn't have a society that applauds people for getting married, if we didn't have assets to share, if we didn't have inheritance, would marriage make any sense? Sam Kuluba says hi. Hi to you. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Shuape says, because I get myself. Ooh, okay. Well, you get yourself. 733 Moshe says, now I think it's about building the next generation. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Like when you're building from scratch. Also, I feel like not getting married is all fun and games until you're older and maybe you feel lonely and all of that. I don't know. Okay, if you be able to access, I feel like people with finances, that shouldn't be a concern, because with finances you'll always find young girls, young men and all of that. But for people who know that you're not gonna be really rich, I think it's all fun and games if you don't settle when you're strong, when you're still admirable and all of that. And then later on in your life, maybe you're like, okay, I wish I would have looked for somebody. L33 Moshe says, I mean, if you're not married because you can't find someone, then it depends what you're doing while not married. Oh, if you're not married because you can't find someone, then it depends what you're doing. Okay, no, not because you can't find someone. Right now, I don't feel like people are not getting married because they can't find someone, because they're just choosing not to. Okay, I feel like marriage have been such a traumatic institution for a long time. Children have been born in these marriages, and it's like, why would you want to get married? Okay, if you grow up seeing abusive situations, like let's say your parents' situation was abusive, why would you want to go through the same path like they did? Are you married? No, I'm not. I'm not, but I'm engaged. Kara Betsui Lebebe says hello to you. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Do you feel like, is marriage necessary in today's generation? Is marriage necessary in today's generation? Okay. Sharp. Okay, I would say it's still necessary, because you still get uploaded. Also, for example, for political seats, people are looking for someone who is serious and married. Okay, so if you want to gain power in the society, you have to get married. Okay, because they want somebody who shows an example of a good family. Okay, what would I say? I think I would say, I feel like if marriage is what it's supposed to be, if it's all about supporting each other, being good to each other, loving someone and seeing someone all the way through, supporting each other, if it's all about that, then I feel like marriage is necessary. Okay, but if it's about looking for cheaper services, if it's about abuse, if it's about being mean to each other, then I don't feel like it's necessary. So it honestly depends with what these individuals are doing in the marriage. Shawafa says, so you didn't know what marriage means? No, I know what marriage. Blessed Boy says, my number is strict. My number. No, okay. No, I know what marriage means. Okay, I know what marriage means. Maybe I might not have been married before, but I have grown up in a situation where like it's a marriage. So I feel like we can say that I don't feel like no one know. Okay, we can say that even if you're not married yourself, you have people around you who are married. Okay, you know somebody who is married, maybe your parent, maybe somebody. So I feel like every one of us have been exposed to marriage in one way or another. So the fact that we are not married doesn't mean that like that is a problem. It's really not. Okay. So what would you guys conclude when it comes to this topic? So what would you say? Cohabiting before marriage, is it smart or risky in your opinion? Let me type that. Wow, can you hear those cats? Cohabiting before marriage, is it smart or risky? In conclusion, what would you guys say in conclusion? Blessed Boy says I was born in 1989. Wow, okay. Alan Samuel says marriage has and will always be important. It is God's self first creation. Oh, wow. Okay. So when you look at it from the religious view, marriage will always be important. Okay. Wow. Okay. So what's your view towards marriage? Like, is it for you? Okay. When it comes to marriage, is one person more supposed to be more in control than the other one, or should it be a union? Because I feel like that's where the confusion comes in. Okay, and I feel like for men it's easier for you guys to say that like, oh, marriage is God's first creation, because okay, and I know you guys also give in the marriage, but I feel like most of you guys are receiving when it comes to marriage. Like you are the ones who are receiving. Okay, you're receiving this woman is cooking for you, cleaning for you, you're getting conjugal rights and everything else. Okay, so I feel like it's easier for men to say that like it's God's first creation just because it's beneficial. Cohabiting before marriage, smart or risky? Alan says cohabiting is always risky. It needs two matured souls. Okay, so for you your answer is risky. Would you cohabit with somebody if they are mature? Would you cohabit with them without getting married? Uh-huh. Would you cohabit with somebody? I feel like cohabiting is okay, but the problem is if there's children who comes as a result of the cohabiting, then that's when the problems comes in, because you're bringing children into a situation where you have not defined. Okay, everybody will be mom and dad, but what else? My friend is Kaka. Okay, so cohabiting before marriage, smart or risky? In my opinion, I feel like it's risky, because the moment you start living with somebody, you start consolidating your funds, you're sharing accounts, not to mention you're putting your energy. You're putting your energy there, and to think about like if anything happens to any one of you, the other one cannot have no legal right to what you guys have been working together towards, is really not like no. So in my opinion, I feel like it's very risky. That's what I would say. So what I would say in conclusion to this topic, cohabitation before marriage, smart or risky? It depends. I would say it depends with your situation. Nobody is saying don't do this, don't do that. It depends with your situation. For example, it could be like you have early pregnancy and maybe both parties want to be present during the pregnancy, the journey, the pregnancy journey. Then that could be another thing. But I would say this in conclusion to this topic, because we are just winding up. I would say I don't think cohabitation is the right path. I feel like if you guys are ready to live together, then you're ready to get married. Whatever that means. It doesn't mean like inviting a lot of people. Whatever that means to you guys, okay? So I think we are winding up. We're gonna end it right there. Tomorrow we're gonna come back with other amazing topics. Remember, right now we are doing 2 live streams per day. One at like around 3 p.m. Kenyan time, and then the other one at 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So convert that to your local time and see you guys here, okay, on the live stream, okay? So thank you so much for tuning in, and then I'm gonna say until next time, bye bye. Oh, was anybody typing? Let me wait. I feel like maybe somebody was typing. Okay, we are ending the live stream in like, let me talk about 5 minutes. Let's end the live stream in 5 minutes. So if anybody is typing a conclusion, Alan says, in some cultures, religion, or families, cohabitation may create tension or social consequences. Yeah. Okay, honesty. And when there is a result, for example, when it comes to children, then you're bringing them into a dynamic they didn't ask for. Not to mention, if one of you guys pass away, like, and that's not what you're praying for. Can you imagine all the all the effort, all the work that you've put into the other person, you building something together? You know what people see, for example, let's take an example of this channel. This is something that I've been building for a long time, okay? It could have been with the help of somebody, okay? But when you're not married, that person, that thing can be taken away from them. Like, it's like, no, like, duh. But when you're married to somebody, you're literally the next of kin, automatically. Alan Samuel says, living together can reveal a lot, but it doesn't automatically predict how a couple will handle future challenges, such as parenting, career changes, illness, or financial stress. Okay, so you cannot conclude how your marriage will look like by doing that. Alan says, questions worth discussing before moving in are, why are we moving in together? Are we considering marriage? Why are we moving in together? Are we considering marriage, and on that, what timeline? How will we handle finances? How will chores be divided? Yeah. And I feel like we don't talk about these topics. Like, we don't talk about why are we moving in together? What's the purpose of us moving in together? Are we considering, like, yeah, and what timeline? How will we handle finances? Especially finances, you don't talk about that. You just move in, and then it just overwhelms. How will chores be divided and all of that? Oh my God, yeah. So I feel like, even as far as we are a generation, especially us, Generation Z, we are a generation that doesn't like stress or doesn't want to stress about anything, which means we are willing to like take shortcuts when it comes to everything, but we have to be really careful. Otherwise, you're gonna be the next generation. I was watching Koramo show. I don't know if you guys usually sometimes have some glimpses of that. If you've not watched that and see the number of children that are out here looking for their fathers in the US, they have no idea who their father was. Okay, maybe most probably because they're both the dad and the mom is promiscuous, so they don't even know who is the father. But watching that show, it literally opens my eyes, because that rarely happens here in Kenya, because most people, okay, my parents' generation, most of them have been married or have been living with their partners, so most probably you know your dad. But by watching that show, it has opened my eyes to like what happens when people decide they're not getting married and they're just having fun. Okay, because now we are having people who are sleeping with everybody. We are having people who are out there having fun. But see, the generation that we produce is a generation with a lot of, there is a generation with a lot of wounds. Okay, can you imagine you're bringing 5 men into a show to test which one is the father of your kid? Okay, so I think by watching that show, it's one of the, it shows one of the reasons why cohabiting is risky. Sleeping together without thinking about what will this happen, what will be the result of this, it shows, yeah, I feel like honesty is risky, especially on the woman's side. I feel like from the woman's side, it's risky. Oh, Bob, it's been a minute. You said it depends. Okay, what does it depend with? Cohabiting before marriage, is it smart or risky? What does it depend with? Edward Soroseb says, hi, I miss the beautiful face. Oh my god, welcome back. We've been talking about cohabiting. Is it smart or risky? Bob says, I think the default rule should be it's risky. Why do you think it's risky? Okay, I did say, for me, in conclusion, I did say I feel like it's very risky. Like, cohabiting is very risky. Not to mention you're bringing children into a situation that is, not to mention, like, honestly, you could put your all into somebody, especially women. And I feel like women, I feel like a woman can build a man to become the man that he wanna be. Okay, a woman can help a man with ideas, and then the man executes the ideas. But in any case, if you guys are not married, you cannot claim any of that. Okay, you are just somebody that they knew, and that whole work goes into. Okay, not to say, somebody said here that it's all about assets. Marriage is about assets. It's about owning property. It's about fulfilling society's expectation. It's about religion. Bob says it helps save cost. If both parties are sensible, they could run existing together. Yeah, which was one of the pros that I talked about when it comes to getting married. Pros of not getting married, cohabiting, is like you get to test drive and see, will this work? Okay, do I like the way you sleep? Do I like the way how is your hygiene, by the way? Like, who is gonna be doing this? Okay, who is gonna be doing which chore? Are you lazy? Blah blah blah. Do you cook? Do you help me with the house chores? All of those. Bob says also increases the chances of scoring a child. Yeah, it does. Because you do start treating each other like married people, which means then taking care both sides. See, like the way when people are not married, everybody is taking, what is it called, precautions. Okay, then when you move in together, then you the guy is leaving it upon the lady, and then let's say, there's a lot of risks. Although there's a lot of pros. For example, the ones that I talked about is like you learn each other's real habits, not just the version shown during dates. Another one is you discover how your partner handles money, chores, stress, and conflict. Another one was it can save people from marrying someone they are incompatible with. You just move in with somebody and you're like, the way this person is snoring, no. The way you're talking to me, no. We're not the way you are arguing about everything, no. The way you're not helping with the house chores, no. The way you're not helping me with paying bills, no. Like, it helps you to see. Also, it can reduce the shock that comes after marriage. Bob says, I like my privacy. I won't cohabit if it doesn't make sense financially. Okay, so for you, it has to make sense financially. Okay, for me, I feel like cohabiting is risky. So, for me, first of all, like, if I have to cohabit, first of all, the children has to be out of, like, I have to be. Can you imagine? That's a cat crying like that. What? Shindwe. Okay, so for me, if I'm gonna cohabit with somebody, it has to be, no, especially no children are coming out of that. No, it has to be a pure road test with no possibility of bringing in results that are not wanted. The cats want to fight. Yeah, and they don't even belong to me. They are just out there crying or whatever. Yeah, they usually piss me off. I dislike cats. Okay, guys, this has been such a nice, amazing topic. If you have also something to comment on, Ezra says cohabiting is not risky. It's a nice experiment. Oh, so you would say for you it's an experiment. But the problem is, Ezra, after you cohabit with someone, will you really want to get married to them, or will you just say, instead of wasting our finances getting married, that's the problem. The con or the disadvantage of cohabiting, one of them was some couples become comfortable. You become comfortable. You stop chasing your partner, and you stop progressing towards marriage. You are like, okay, why would I want to spend all this money to get married to somebody that I've already lived with? Like, it's like this notion about why buy the cow if you're getting the milk for free? Okay, so it's a nice experiment, but will it proceed to become what it's supposed to be? Will it become, what are we talking about? Will it proceed to become marriage, or will you guys just get comfortable and keep maybe using each other or whatever, So I would say it's a nice experiment, but it's a risky experiment. It can be a nice experiment, but also a risky one at the same time. Okay. Yeah, I hope there's nobody who is typing. And if you're let me give you guys like 2 minutes. If somebody is typing. Ezra says doing a wedding or an official wedding can backfire. Some couples are cohabiting and they are fine. Okay, me personally, like a huge wedding, spend all your life saving on a wedding? No. For me, it's a no. Like, no, thank you. Also, first of all, like, not everybody is happy because you're getting married. So, first of all, for me, a huge wedding is literally a no. Like, no, when you talk about marriage, we're talking about the marriage license, the institution of marriage. Because I think most people don't realize that marriage is an institution. It's not about the wedding ceremony. It's about the certificate. It's about this person being permanently entangled with you, intertwined. Okay, that's what it's about. So, let me see if, okay, 1 more minute if someone is typing, so that we can wind up. Oh my god, this has been such a discussion, you guys. I didn't think you guys I'll invite the haters and use their tears for the food. Okay, but you know what? I have always seen people make like WhatsApp groups for marriages, and then they invite you into, for you. Okay, it's okay for me, for you to make a WhatsApp group for people to contribute towards your marriage. But is it that serious? Like, is it that serious? Do we really need to do that? Honestly, no. Me personally, I'm not gonna do that. Like, it's gonna be a good Friday evening, and then on Monday I come and tell you guys, by the way, guys, I am promoted to the next level. Yeah, I don't see, but this is just me. It depends with what's a priority. I just don't see the necessity of spending my life savings, getting loans, fundraisers just for a wedding. No, I don't think it's worth it on my end. Okay, so anybody who is typing, finish up quickly. We are finishing up. Elijah Kuto says hi to you, good to see you, welcome to the live stream. Bob Manuel says in Nigeria it's common. Cohabiting, it's also common here in Kenya. It's called come we stay. Cohabiting is very common, but in any case, if your village members, for example, if there's children, for example, here in Kenya, if there's children, then the woman doesn't need to like legally married. Automatically, if the guy is out of the picture, the children automatically inherit. So there's a lot of that. Ezra says no need to use a lot of money on a wedding. 500 shillings and 10 people to attend is enough. 500 shillings? Are you kidding me? What are you gonna cook for with 500 shillings? First of all, even personally as a person, 500 shillings, I cannot get full on 500 shillings. I don't. No. Okay, if you're talking about like 10,000 and just cook a few dishes, that would be nice. 10 people. Okay. Okay, the last question. As you guys, as we wind up, would you do a huge wedding? Like, would you do a huge wedding where like you're investing your whole life savings on it? Okay, and you guys finish up typing up. God, this have been such a topic, to be really honest. No, okay. But 500 shillings is too low. It's too low. 500 shillings. You have to think about maybe 10. 10 you can cook two pots and that's it. If my rich wife can afford it, I will. Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think you, Bob, you're stuck with the whole idea of like having a rich wife. Okay, then even if I have a rich husband, me personally, I mean, like that whole thing of inviting everybody, your haters, your lovers, everybody to come on there. No, what are we celebrating first of all? Okay, okay. This have been such a nice topic, you guys. I think I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. The topics that I'm gonna be coming with this week are literally hot. You better tune in. And first of all, guys, I want to thank you all for the continuous support. We did hit the 1,000 subscribers. So right now we're just working on the watch hours. Thank you every one of you guys for always tuning in right here on I Am Boy Live. Oh god, this have literally been my small project that I've been working on. I'm not gonna quit on it. We're gonna keep doing it. And as far as I feel like we are having a conversation, and of course my life is being touched by having conversations with you, but also I just hope that I'm touching somebody else's. Okay, so thank you guys for hanging out with me, and until next time, bye bye. I hope nobody's typing. Okay, if in 1 minute nobody have typed something, then we will call it a night. Okay, so no one is typing. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. I always feel bad when I end the live and then I realize somebody was typing. Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. We are doing 2 live streams right now. One at 3 p.m. Kenyan time, one at 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So this one for right now 8 p.m. Kenyan time, and then the one that we normally do is during the day. Okay, so let's keep working, and I'm gonna challenge you guys. Whatever small idea you have, let's keep working on these small dreams. We never know where they're gonna lead us, you know. So as far as it's not destroying us, let's keep working on our small dreams. So maybe we are in June right now. Maybe the rest half of the year is where like you just get to bet on yourself. It doesn't matter who watches or who doesn't. Any small idea, any idea that you have, however small it is, just go for it. Let's see where it leads us. Okay, so thank you so much, and until next time, bye bye. I think I've said bye bye like 10 times. This time I'm serious.